I'm calling this meeting to order at 7:33 p.m. So first, we'll go to section 2, roll call.
With 28 members present, simple majority is 15 and 2/3 majority is 19.
Beautiful stuff, and we'll move to section 3, introductions and reports. We don't have any messages from the student body president, so we'll move to 3.2, report from the executive branch. Vice President Fawn.
Good evening, everyone. I hope your week has gone well so far. So for President Howard and I, the parking committee met last week where several faculty members and I discussed athletics day, game day parking, how to inform students of parking procedures, in addition to how do we address future parking appeals going forward. Please let me know if you have any feedback, concerns, or possible changes that you would like me to share with the committee. Today, SGA tabled for World Kindness Day, so Director Fritz, Director Hadley, Chairperson Chauhan, and Senator Peng tabled today for that. We gave out our usual pamphlets in addition to Kindness Day cards and snacks that go along with it. In addition, the university has selected a new provost and executive vice president, and you can find all that information on the Shocker Blast. Our new provost, Dr. Monica Lunsberry, will start January 5th next year. And in addition, I would love to meet with every single one of you senators for a one-on-one meeting just to discuss goals that you might have throughout the year, what I can help you support you with, and just to get to know you better. I'll be sending out emails to everyone soon about that. I will also be sending out emails within the next few weeks to every senator to connect you to your dean if you haven't met them already. So just keep an eye out for that. For our student body treasurer Wong, we're getting closer to using all of our available funds for this semester. We will likely have 1 or 2 more meetings of Finance Commission, and then we'll have to wait on the reimbursements to see if there are more funds moving forward. The treasurer is out for the next few days, so if you have anything really urgent that needs to be addressed by her, please email her or let Advisor Fonseca know. For our Chief of Staff Westbrook, he is just uploading our Finance Commission and Cabinet meeting minutes for this week. For our SOC Chairperson, Chauhan, she is working on the transition guide for RSOs, so the transition for RSO presidents and other members of executive boards to pass on to the next executive board for their student organization. She is also working on a RSO end of semester celebration, an end of semester collage post for RSOs, and she is also planning for the newly formatted student organization council meetings for the spring semester and having potential collaborations with departments like event services and other departments around campus. For our Director of International Student Affairs, Munjay, he met with Dr. Bruner on November 11th to discuss the National Endowment for Humanities funding. The NES deadline passed in early September, but Dr. Bruner will seek alternative funding options for that. The next meeting he has scheduled with Dr. Bruner will be on December 2nd, and they will continue to explore ways to initiate the mentorship program without immediate funding. He is also partnering with Housing and Trader Joe's to support food insecurity initiatives during winter break for our on-campus international students. Food supplies from Trader Joe's will be available for students to check out easily over the winter break. He will also be having a potential collaboration with Housing to host a Thanksgiving dinner for international students and other students that are remaining here on campus. He is working on this project with a graduate assistant from the Housing Department to ensure a welcoming holiday experience for everyone. In addition, he is collaborating with Shocker Career Accelerator to host a guest speaker event in the Santa Fe room. The event will feature speakers who have navigated the H-1B visa and OPT processes. He's currently selecting speakers in partnership with the Shocker Career Accelerator. For our Director of Wellness and Sustainability, Hadley, they are just working on restocking the menstrual products dispensers throughout campus. If anyone wants to help with that initiative, please let me or Director Hadley know for that. For our Director of Policy and Legislative Affairs, RNs, we will be going to the Kansas Board of Regents next week. So we're preparing for our trip to Kansas Board of Regents in addition to preparing for Higher Ed Day. For our Director of Leadership and Engagement, Fritz, Freshman Leadership Council had their Halloween event, their Boo Bash. It was successful. We had around 40 attendees that stayed for a pretty large portion of the event, and we had a couple raffles for that day. And for the rest of FLC, I know they'll have a engaging leaders meeting this Thursday, and that'll be their last leadership meeting that they have with that. Freshman Leadership Council also gained 2 members, so now they have a total of 12 members. Next week, they'll be planning for their winter event, which will be on December 4th in the Shocker Hall lobby from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. For our Director of Media Relations sign-off, the inquiry form for the student government is now live, so if you have any concerns or you want to reach out to different members of student government, you can fill out that form, which will be on our Instagram and later on potentially our website, where students can fill out what concerns, needs, or who they need to reach out to on the form, and from there our Chief of Staff Westbrook will redirect students to who they will need to talk to, or just redirect those issues to different members of leadership. For our undergraduate advocate Wassinger, she currently has 5 active cases. 2 of those cases are related to parking, and 3 are related to academic appeals. She is continuing to work with the rest of cabinet, in addition to Chairperson Adriana Owens, to address accessibility issues, as well as increase disability pride within our campus. For our graduate advocate Tran, she currently has 1 parking appeal case that she picked up from the undergraduate advocate. She is also meeting with people on campus to create and administrate a survey for graduate students. The goal of that survey is to assess graduate students' needs regarding academic appeals, academic integrity, and student conduct cases, and parking appeals, in addition to other concerns related to university processes and procedures. But that's all I have for you all this week. I will be more than happy to answer any questions people may have.
Are there any questions? Senator Mallard.
Not sure if this is you or someone else, but for the Shocker Support Locker, if we wanted to, would we be able to donate stuff over the winter break?
I'm not completely sure on that, but I'll refer that question to the central office.
It will actually close the day that students leave. With the student government office closed and then campus closed on the 20th, there won't be an ability to collect donations over the break. But then when we're back and open again, we'll be able to again.
Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you. We'll move to 3.3, report from the Speaker of the Senate. So here's what I have for you. Spring registration opened this Monday, so I hope all of you have registered or plan to this week. Get your classes, figure it out. Just don't schedule anything on Wednesday. You gotta be here. And then also I will be emailing all of you a Google form soon to check in, just like a little, hey, how are you doing? How can I help you? What's something that you need from me? Those kinds of things, just so we can all check in with each other and make sure we're all doing good and those kinds of things. And then Gabe and I will do a sort of parent-teacher conference thing one time for our committee of the whole, just to check back in with all of you once we get back, obviously, from being away for so long, a full month in January, so that we can just see where everyone's at, where our initiatives are at, and how we can get those done before student fees. And good segue there, because student fees. So the task force is obviously going to come together in the next few weeks to be able to talk about appropriation, student fees, and those kinds of wonderful things. So if you have any thoughts on those kinds of items or ideas or anything, please let us know or come to those meetings. I'm sure you're more than welcome to attend. And we'll make sure that's, when those are occurring, so that you can all join in or help facilitate those discussions. And then beyond that also, I will be having an earlier discussion about student fees so that we can kind of understand what student fees is, because I know it's like it's amorphous word that we're hearing, and we're like, what is that? It's not too ominous, but it is something that I want to make sure that you all feel comfortable handling before we get into it. And I don't just want to throw you into the deep end there with that. Beyond that, I think that's it for me. Any questions? Okay, seeing none, wonderful. We'll move to 3.4, report from Government Oversight, Chairperson Bobbit.
Hello, everybody. So Government Oversight Committee met today and discussed the Funding Procedure Act and the Legislative Council Amendment. The Legislative Council Amendment was referred back to the Senate with a recommendation to pass. The Government Oversight Committee is still working on the Funding Procedure Act, and that bill just covers some thoughts on improving the administration of funding. It does not get into the qualifications of appropriations or anything else like that. But yeah, beyond that, government oversight is hard at work on initiatives, and we'll have more coming soon.
Any questions for Chairperson Bobbit? Okay, seeing none, thank you. We'll move to 3.5, a report from Academic Affairs, Chairperson Grajeda.
Hello. So this week, the new committee members were officially assigned to their faculty senate committees, and we met informally to finish transitioning our 3 new senators and reviewed the Academic Advisor Feedback Act and the MyWSU SGA Inquiry Form Resolution. And then for the sake of getting some more hands-on experience with legislation, we also reviewed the no smoking or vaping signage resolution and BRIC, Bike Rack Installation and Commuter Kindness Act. That was a lot of words in a row I had to read. That's all.
Any questions for Chairperson Grajeda? Seeing none, thank you. We'll move to 3.6, report from Diversity, Empowerment, and Inclusion, Chairperson Haynes.
Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody's having a great week and a great semester so far. So this week we met in committee, working on one of our initiatives, which is pushing out at least 15 pieces of legislation for the session. And I'm proud to say that we will have, hopefully, we have a lot of stuff that's basically done. So next week, y'all might see a loaded packet. Notably, we have Senator Island and Senator Brown working on resolutions regarding safety in the Heskett Center and intramurals safety for students. Senator Izzard is working on scholarship, securing scholarship funds for students with ADHD. Senator Lewis is working on legislation regarding Russia and its occupation of the Ukraine. And Senator Miller is working on legislation regarding the spread of airborne illnesses on campus. For our agency updates, for our Asian Student Conference, they hosted a successful pickleball tournament last week. I believe it was last Saturday. They're having their next general body meeting on November 19th, and they also have an opportunity for volunteering at Botanica on November 20th from 2 to 4 p.m. With our Black Student Union, last Friday, they hosted their talent show where yours truly was a judge. They also hosted their Thanksgiving Sunday dinner last Sunday. Yesterday, this past Tuesday, they just hosted their silent library in partnership with Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Today, they did food community service with the Kansas Food Bank, and they're currently fielding applications for the Big 12 Conference on Black Student Government, and that takes place in spring, and it's hosted at Oklahoma State University. For Halo, today they're having their Friendsgiving potluck today from 7 to 9 p.m. So if we end early enough, y'all already know where to head at. And then International Student Union, I was not able to give this report last week, but Interfest was a huge success, and thank you to all that supported them on that initiative. And they're also collaborating on an event with our Asian Student Conference. More details on that coming soon. Are there any questions?
Are there any questions? Okay, seeing none, thank you. We'll move to 3.7, report from Student Services, Chairperson Adriana Owens.
Hello. Pardon. Okay, hello everyone. I'm glad to be back. This week we met informally because we didn't meet quorum, so we'll have to vote on the legislation placed in our committee at a later date. We'll try to get that done as soon as possible so we can see that on the floor soon. Other than that, I have almost finished the survey, and hopefully we will be able to send that out through OSAT, as well as a different formation, so that we can get not only people who have academic accommodations, but also people who may not know what those are and may still need accommodations to respond to those surveys, so we can get that kind of information. As well as I've been working on a proposal to the university to address other issues related to accessibility. Hopefully we will see that in the task force we might end up creating, that we've been discussing with the advocate and other members of leadership, as well as the executive branch. These are all things that are what if, and hopefully, but hopefully we'll get a better timeline for something that might be a little bit more permanent. Other than that, I'm open to questions.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you. We'll move to 3.8, report from the central office. Central office?
Good morning. Hi, and good evening. Just to echo the speaker, please make sure that you register for classes in the spring. And in addition, with the changes that happened in the recognition of student organizations, with the office now responsible for recognizing student organizations, there's a clause that asks us to come back to let you know groups that we've approved. So I'm going to do that right now. We have recognized the Audio Engineering Society, which is an organization to increase knowledge, stimulate interest, and facilitate meaningful discussion to maintain high standards in the field of audio engineering related disciplines. We re-recognize the Wichita Honors Events Activities Team, which is to foster meaningful connection, host social, educational, and community engaging events within the Cohen's Honors College. We recognize Sky Campus Happiness at WSU, which is to promote wellness, mental clarity, and emotional resilience within the campus community. The National Marrow Donor Program. It's a new student organization to provide meaningful opportunities for students to learn about blood cancers and other life-threatening diseases treated by blood stem cell transplant. I'm going to butcher this one, but the Al Maghreb Student Organization, which is to unite North African students studying at WSU and promote North African cultures through engagement in cultural exchange programs and activities. Cosmos Shocks, to build a network of current and former students involved with NASA-related research and product development experiences at Open XR Lab in the College of Innovation and Design. The National Society of Leadership and Success, to assist college students in creating lives they desire, helping them discover their passion and purpose through support tools to achieve their goals. The Society for Advancement of Material and Process Engineering, the WSU chapter, to stimulate student interest in materials and mechanical engineering, to encourage discussions around providing solutions for the need of advanced materials for the benefit of the technical community. And Sigma Delta Pi Honor Society, which is to foster an understanding, appreciation, and respect for the peoples, culture, and societies of the Spanish-speaking world. And that is the end of my report.
Any questions for the central office? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to section 4, public forum and presentations. Public forum provides a chance for individuals to have the privilege of speaking before the Senate. This is a time for the association to listen to what the community has to say, and to that we offer undivided respect and attention. I would like to remind everyone that although we allow the speakers the privilege to use this platform, the opinions of the speaker do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the association or the university. Is there anyone who would like to speak during public forum? Senator Murphy?
Hey everyone, I'm not coming at you from being a senator. I'm coming at you from being a humongous basketball fan. Tomorrow night, 6:30, we're going to be playing against Northern Iowa. This is the first game since 2017. This is also the first time that we are playing them since we left the Missouri Valley. Come out, it's going to be a great time. We've been trying to increase engagement with athletics, so it would be great to see any of you guys there. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak during public forum? Okay, seeing none, I'll close public forum and move to section 5. We don't have a consent agenda today. We'll be voting on the minutes next week. We had a long meeting last week, so I appreciate your patience with that. And we'll move to section 6, consideration of pending business 6.1.
Act on request to approve AR-67-008 Academic Advisor Feedback Act.
Is the author here and would like to speak? You have the floor.
It's only been like several weeks. Okay, so for those of you who have hopefully read the bill and also remember what we talked about last time, this bill is to increase engagement with the students and the academic advising to, if you read the therefores, to urge the university to send out a survey because they already have that, but a lot of people might not fill it out or get it. And I'm gonna first address a few comments that were made. So one of the comments was, like, how do we know that students actually do have issues, along with in like being accessible in a timely manner or the inadequate availability of academic advisors. So if you look at the LAS college, a lot of people were put on a several-month wait list just to be able to speak with their academic advisor. So someone like me, I was put on a 2-month wait list. I know a lot of other people who were put on that just because we had lost so many advisors. Like we had a very specific geology one and a few other departments as well, but now we have a very low amount of advisors. You also look at engineering, where obviously a lot of you guys have seen chats in Senate about the meetings with advisors, and Matthew, someone out a bit ago, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like for the ME department, it's like 1 to a couple hundred students, and so that alone is not the ability to serve its students in a timely manner. And if you don't go to advising because you're put on that wait list, or you don't go because again, 2 months is a very long time, then you don't get to fill out that survey. And the hope with this is that no matter if you go or you don't, you're able to fill it out. And then also, let's see. Yeah, the students do not feel sufficient support. There was another comment on that. Again, as you can see, we don't, if you're put on a 2-month wait list or we don't have enough advisors per student. Also, a lot of freshmen do complain about the fact that their advisor might sign them up for classes that they're not actually required to do, or in the future, they realize that this is not something that they should have done. I am a student ambassador, so for those of you who do not know, but I actually talk with a lot of prospective students and then a lot of current students, and especially a lot of freshmen. So because we help prospective students become freshmen, I then also get to talk to those freshmen as current students. And I have heard a lot of complaints from a lot of people about the fact that their advisors don't, a lot of times, sign them up for classes that they don't need, or even say, I don't think that you should actually take this class because I don't think you'll like it. When they're not the one who gets to do that, the advisor gets to say, I'm here to help you, and I will actually figure out if this is okay, not to say no. But yeah, I'll stand for questions if there are any.
Are there any questions? Give me your placard. Island, of course, Senator Island.
Can you explain how the investigation process in point 15 would work?
All right, mine does not have numbers because I was looking at my thing with comments. But basically, it's just asking that the higher ups look into this. So when we do have surveys filled out, that they actually we are ensuring that they read the surveys. And this is not me basically telling who to do an investigation. It's just asking that one is done. I know that currently the LAS advising that is already under review. So this is furthering that statement of something that's already happening, and not just having it be LAS, but basically be the entirety of the advising.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, thank you. And this is also the final read of this bill, so we'll move into debate and then voting. So is there anyone who would like to speak in the debate period? Senator Williams.
I'll move to adopt it by unanimous consent.
Are there any, well, before we do that, I'll explain what it is, and then I'll ask for any objections. Unanimous consent is a system that we adopt in order to do just that, adopt everything with all of us agreeing. And the way that that motion works is I ask for any objections, and if there is an objection, then we move into the regular voting period. If there isn't, then it is then adopted as if we all said, yes, let's do it. Are there any questions about that motion? I know for some of our new senators, we haven't yet done that during your time in office. Okay. Are there any objections to adopting this with consensus? Okay, seeing none, it's adopted as such. Okay. And now I'll open the floor to any potential motions. Senator Chairperson Bobbitt.
I move to pull SB 67-105 from Committee of the Whole to the agenda of the Senate.
Is there a second? Okay, seeing multiple seconds. And this is a debatable motion, and we'll discuss that now. So is there any discussion? Is there anyone who would like to speak in the debate period? Chairperson Bobbitt.
There is still a lot of work to be done on this resolution, and while we have the time set aside tonight, I think this would be a wonderful opportunity to do it.
Anyone else who would like to speak during the debate period? Okay, saying none, thank you. We'll move into voting. And now just a reminder, this does require a 2/3 vote, 2/3 majority vote to pull it out of Committee of the Whole. And we'll move into voting.
Okay, if I could have everyone turn on their clickers and then press A and then press A again. And then, okay. All right, and then you should be good to vote now. Since we actually have 29 members and not 28 as previously announced, and the bill requires a 2/3 majority, we reached 18 yes, 5 noes, and 7 abstentions, so the motion fails. Oh, correction, we need 20 for 2/3 majority.
Okay.
Point of order. Is that 2/3 present or 2/3 voting?
2/3 present is 20, and we had 18 yes.
Yes, but is it 2/3 present or 2/3 voting?
Clock back in here. Ask me your question.
Is the criteria needed for this motion 2/3 of the senators present or 2/3 of the senators voting?
I'll bring that back to the central office for their insight. Great question.
I'm just stalling for a second. Hold on. So your bylaws for voting standards says a 2/3 majority vote shall be at least 66.6% of senators present. A 2/3 vote of the entire Senate, including vacant seats when stated in the Constitution, shall be at least 66.6% of total sworn members of the Senate. So I'm probably going to go with those present, because that's what number 3 says under the voting standards.
Okay, so that brings us to the motion fails. So unfortunately, that will then lie continuously in Committee of the Whole, and next week we'll be back into discussing the same resolution. So what I suggest for all of you, Senator Pizzini as well, get your amendments drafted, thoughts, those kinds of things, collect them so we can get that done. And now we'll move to Section 7, consideration new business. There is none, so we'll move to Section 8, adjournment. I adjourn this meeting at 8:02 p.m. Okay, before you go, so for the Senate schedule, there's a little tiff there. It didn't have Thanksgiving break right, so I'll change that, send an email to all of you, good stuff, and we'll be good to go. You're golden, so get out.